Lex Innocentium, 21st century, hereby declares that war is a crime against humanity, a crime against the earth, and a crime against the future. In no circumstances will this moral people's law accept justification for war or military aggression, or justification for the preparation for war, or justification for the waste of resources on war. Inspired by Adam Noon's law, Lex Innocentium 697 Anno Domini, and its protection of innocent non-combatants in war, by other pertinent ancient laws, beliefs, traditions, and religious teachings, by international laws of our own time, by the United Nations Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and by the hard work, dedication, and sacrifices of peace activists and environmental activists down the years and throughout the world. We, the signatories and subscribers to this new law, Lex Innocentium 21st century, believe that it is now time to launch this people's law, a moral law, a law of principle that can be used by individuals and groups to highlight the failures of governments around the world to save humanity from the scourge of war, to call governments and international leaders to account for those failures, and to challenge all those who have a vested interest in the instigation, justification, and normalization of war. We also believe that given the nature of modern weapons, it is now time to extend protection from the scourge of war to our planet Earth and to the future. We hereby decree that it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to kill, hurt, harm, or take hostage innocent people in war, military operations, or armed conflict, deliberately, consequentially, or accidentally, whether a war has been declared or not, or through siege, lockdown, or the cutting off of essential supplies, or through damage to civilian infrastructure. For the purpose of this clause, the term innocent people will include all non-combatants of all ages and gender, conscientious objectors, and those who walk away from war, violence, or military operations of any kind, aid workers, journalists, and peace activists, all innocents under this law. It is also wrong and a crime under this people's law to kill, injure, or harm the crops, livestock, or domestic animals, including household pets, upon which these innocent people rely for food or companionship. That innocence under this law will also include innocent witnesses, all those who are troubled, offended, distressed, or traumatized by the harmful impact of war on their fellow human beings, on the earth or on the future, caused without their consent and caused against their principles, against their feelings of empathy and compassion, and against their wisdom. That it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to force individuals to commit acts of violence and aggression against their will, their beliefs, or their principles. That it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to harm, injure, or diminish the heart, soul, or spirit of humanity through acts of violence, cruelty, and war. That it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to hurt, harm, injure, or damage planet Earth, an innocent under this law, her soil, water, or atmosphere, or any of her wide and varied ecosystems and living creatures, including humanity, whether deliberately, consequentially, or accidentally, through war or aggression, military operations, or armed conflict, or through the manufacture, testing, storing, or decommissioning of weapons of any kind, including traditional explosive weapons, chemical weapons, biological weapons, nuclear weapons, and weapons yet to be invented. That it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to threaten, put at risk, or harm future generations of humanity or the future welfare of the earth, her soil, water, or atmosphere, or any of her wide and varied ecosystems and living creatures, all innocents under this law, whether deliberately, consequentially, or accidentally, through war or aggression, military operations, or armed conflict, or through the manufacture, testing, storing, or decommissioning of weapons of any kind, including traditional explosive weapons, chemical weapons, biological weapons, nuclear weapons, and weapons yet to be invented. Whilst we wish for all weapons to be decommissioned, decommissioning can be extremely toxic. Every care must be taken in the decommissioning of weapons to avoid harm. Given their toxicity, it is better not to make such weapons in the first place. That it is wrong and a crime under this people's law to spend money and resources on war, including the stockpiling of weapons. It is also wrong and a crime under this people's law for any individual, group, business, manufacturing enterprise, or government to assist, aid, abet, or facilitate the harms and injuries listed in this law on the innocents protected by this law. For the purposes of this law, facilitating will include ignoring and failing to try to end the harm through mediation, negotiation, and peaceful means. Given the indefensible nature of modern warfare and the destructive nature of its weaponry, defense can no longer justify engagement in war or military aggression of any kind, or the military-industrial complex, including the arms industry and all other associated institutions. In its protections, Lex Innocentium 21st century renders modern warfare impossible without breaking this law, and thus necessarily rejects the just war theory. This law thus declares that war in any circumstances, whether declared or not, is a crime against humanity, a crime against the earth, and a crime against the future.